And now we will go and visit Basil and Liza and Martha, their foster person.
Hi, Katie.
Hi. Nice to meet you, these two. Can you tell us a little bit about them? Who's who?
Let's see. Basil is the normal gray on the right there by the door, and Liza is the pearl girl on the left. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, the lighter colored one. Oh, and it looks like there's somebody else on top of their cage, maybe.
Yes,
some birdie else.
Yes. Bishop and Joey are very curious boy cockatiels that just have to be around wherever anybody else is. So, yeah.
Great. We get a package deal here. So can you tell us a little bit about Basil and Liza? How did they come to Mickaboo?
Basil was a stray, apparently. Okay, Joey's going to sing for us now. Basil was a stray. He came to us under a year old, so he still had a lot of the spots and stripes that young cockatiels have. But quickly grew out his feathers. He was missing most of his tail feathers when he came in, and then so I had him, and that was 2016. We got him, and Liza was, I believe, a stray found at probably San Jose shelter, and was previously with another foster home. But I brought her to my place because one of my fosters at the time had lost his pearl girl mate, and I just thought he had to have another one, and I brought her, and apparently she was just way too pale for him. She was not the right pearl for him. Fortunately,
but Basil,
he's been adopted and now has the perfect pearl for him. So yeah.
We're getting some compliments from the audience on Joey's singing in the background.
He's very sweet. He's about like 19 years old, and he just is. He adores Bishop and follows him around everywhere, and they are not currently in cages, so they're a little difficult to spotlight.
Continuing the questions, is Joey available for adoption?
Everybody that's here is available for adoption, yes. But Joey is going to need to have a friend. He's going to need to have some guy to hang out with. So that's just
pretty much all cockatiels do. Like budgies, they live in large social groups in the wild. So
he particularly needs a boyfriend. I guess. Yeah, the guy.
Okay.
I put Basil and Liza together just because they had previously been out flighted. I used to have everybody in an aviary, and he just courted her, and now they're bonded. And I just said, okay, you guys are sharing a cage now. So I would like for them to be adopted together.
Okay. Sort of a similar question from the audience. If someone already has a cockatiel, what's a good way to make sure that another, potential adoptee would get along with their existing cockatiel?
I think it's one thing is knowing your bird, and then knowing what the other bird is. How they interact with other birds at all. If you only have a single cockatiel, you may not have any idea how they are going to react to another bird. So sometimes it's just going to be hard to tell, and that's why we do have a 60-day return policy about where you would get your money back if the birds didn't work out, just so you can get through quarantine and
then have some time for them to meet each
other. Exactly. Yeah. But as I said, I can tell from my birds how they react to females, because I only have 2 females and a bunch of boys here. I know how they just react to other birds, so I can tell you whether any of my fosters are going to be a good fit for what you think your bird is looking for. And generally, as long as you don't have too many birds and you have a lot of space, 2 birds are probably going to 2 cockatiels will get along just fine. They may not be best buddies, but they'll keep each other company, and that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about Liza and Basil's favorite toys? I see they've got an assortment in there. Is there anything they're particularly fond of?
They do like almost all of these birds like to shred things as soft paper shredders. They really love newspaper, but part of that's because they want to nest, I think. I don't know if you can see the toy way in the back, but that is a lot of crinkle cut paper and things, little strippy things that they can just pull out and nibble on and drop. They love the cuttle bone that I have in there to just chew and, kind of wrestle with. It's really good exercise for them to play with their toys. They do things that I just think, how is that even fun? But it's, they love it.
One quick clarification, and everybody loves Joey. It sounded like you might have said everybody except Joey is up for adoption, but I think
no,
Joey
everybody is.
Okay.
Everybody is, yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to be clear about the fact that he needs to be adopted someplace that he has a special friend. So
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what do Basil and Liza like to eat?
Well, of course, seed. Every cockatiel loves seed, but they get nutrient cakes, which is a pellet and cake combination that is good for feeding, especially if you're trying to do weight management. And it's available through your veterinarians. Avian vets will have it. They do like to nibble on romaine lettuce, beet greens, kale, cilantro or parsley. As was mentioned, they love the stems. They just really like little delicate things to chew on. They'll chew on carrot if it's presented properly. I do know that some birds, some cockatiels do like, and budgies definitely like, a kind of a broccoli and carrot slaw. So again, shredded really fine, something they can. I know that cockatiels, they just don't seem to like things that are too difficult to handle. It's got to be just right.
Yeah, they're pretty laid back little birds.
Yeah.
Question from our Facebook audience: do either of these cockatiels step up?
They will if they're outside of the cage and they want to go back someplace. But right now they're not particularly hand tame. I think that it wouldn't take much to get them to be that. They've finally gotten used to being in a cage again. So I think that it's, it is time to get them to being on the step up program.
Got it. So how big of a cage do we recommend for cockatiels?
This one is, I think it's 30 inches. It's a standard flight cage. So you want to make sure it's wide or long and, deep enough. And I would say that it's probably like, I haven't even measured it. It's something like 32 long by about 25 high and 22 deep, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and that we do recommend that cages be wider rather than taller, because for the most parts, the birds are going to find a comfy spot they like relatively high up in the cage and then go back and forth. Right. And so if you have a really tall, narrow cage, then you actually have wasted space rather than space they're super comfortable using. So
right, and you don't want to have anything round because you want them to have some corner that they can get into if they want to. And as I was mentioning before about having two birds that aren't necessarily friends, but as long as they have enough space, you have a large enough cage, they can cohabit pretty well. And also 1/2 inch bar spacing. It shouldn't be wider than 5/8 of an inch, because otherwise they could get their heads or wings stuck.
Yeah, that's actually a really important consideration for small birds. Sometimes it's hard to find good cages for budgies, cockatiels, lovebirds for that reason. It's hard to find a sturdy cage that has a narrow enough bar spacing for them. So
right,
that's the kind of detail we get into in our class. So we don't need to spend too much time on it here, but it is important. Let's see. Do you have any idea if they are good with children or like good in a household with a family?
I think it would be okay with older children, but just they all seem to be, I guess, reactive. they react to what's going on outside, or just earlier they listened to one of the budgies sort of chittering, and that just set everybody off. So they would like a home that is, where they can have a room and they can be, they can hang out and you can hang out with them, but maybe not be in just the middle of everything. Maybe, so that's, I think they would like that, but they definitely like looking out the window. Definitely like that.
Got it. Okay. So we're almost ready to go and meet Pila, the ringneck parakeet. But before we do that, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about Basil and Liza, or about Joey, our off-camera star?
You get three for two here. Boy, that just come through me. Basil and Liza are just, I just think they're beautiful. And I know that that's something that people tend to look for. And if you're looking for birds that would just really, enhance your life and you get occasional song because Basil will sing, he will whistle, and he's just, and we'll let you know when what's going on. Oh yes, Joey, I know. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's Spurtle. Spurtle is now singing. Yeah. Spurtle.
We should have an entire cockatiel adoption fair at your house sometime.
Yeah, that would be great.
Well, thank you so much, Martha. And thank you to Basil and Liza. Thank you to them for being patient with their photobombing co-star.